Today is a big day, folks. It is garlic harvest day for me here at Freedom Forest. It is always a day I look forward to and get pretty excited about because garlic is a crop that I really love to grow and value to cook with. This is actually the latest that I've ever harvested my garlic before. It's the 2nd of July today, and I planted the garlic out. I'm just trying to see my label. 13th of October. So it's been in the ground since the 13th of October. I've got a load of French garlic and a big harvest of elephant garlic to do, but I'm at least going to make a start, and I'm going to do the French garlic first. But yeah, there is heaps to do up here in our main growing area because I was actually away for a few days last week. It was really hot and dry here apparently, whilst I was enjoying the cooler, moister climate of Ireland. And now we've had some rain since. I think I brought the Irish weather back with me. But the weeds and everything have gone absolutely crazy. So I've got loads of work to do up here in the main beds, but I'm gonna just try and ignore it all today and crack on with the garlic. And this lot is all elephant garlic as well, which is desperate to come out of the ground. So I'm gonna sort out the French garlic first, and then hopefully I might still have some time to start harvesting this lot today as well. So it's really crazy because I've never actually let my garlic go this dry and crisp before, and it's actually got more rust on it than I've ever had before, and that is probably just because normally I would have harvested it sooner before the rust had time to kick in. But an interesting observation, so all of this sort of brown crispy stuff here you can see is French garlic. But then at the back here, I've got a row of about 10 elephant garlics. And as you can probably tell, the elephant garlic is a lot less affected by rust. In fact, barely at all. Just the very outside leaves have got the tiniest little bit on. So yeah, it's really interesting to see. But I'm going to start pulling this out now and see what the harvest is like, and we'll go from there. So this is a hardneck variety of garlic as well, and hopefully with our no dig beds I will mostly be able to harvest with my hands. But I did get this new tool for my birthday. It's a hori knife, which I think might be really useful for getting under the roots, just chopping through some of the roots so I can leave them in the ground and have less soil disturbance. But yeah, it's a pretty gnarly looking thing. It needs to be gotten dirty, so yeah, let's give it a whirl. Oh yeah, that's perfect tool. Right, there we are, first garlic out. It's not the biggest bulb that I've seen, but the cloves are actually a really good size on it. Yeah, so pretty happy with that. Oh gosh, this one's in deep. Yeah, again, similar size bulb, nice good sized cloves. Garlic's practically dry already as well, with how dry the weather's been and how dry the soil is underneath here. It's, like I say, we've had a bit of rain the last few days, but yeah, just going into the soil here, the first sort of inch has got some good moisture in it, but below that is quite dry. Having said that, that's really good for garlic. Normally in drier soil close to harvest time, that means the garlic will store a lot better. So yeah, all good, all good. So that was 101 bulbs of garlic harvested, and according to my labels I planted 103, so that is pretty good odds. Overall the harvest is a lot smaller than I usually get, and there's a few possible reasons for that, but I'm thinking most likely is when these bulbs would have been having their last big growth spurts or swelling up in end of May, beginning of June time, it was really hot and dry then. So maybe they didn't have as much moisture as they needed, because I didn't actually water this garlic at all throughout the whole of the sort of 6-week drought period that we had. So there would have been good moisture in the soil from all the rain that we had prior to that. But yeah, so that could be one reason why. There was a little bit of undermining from voles and things like that I noticed, but not consistently throughout the bed enough for the consistency of the yield. So I don't think it's that, but again, another factor. And then the only other thing is, obviously it was an unusually cold winter for us here. I planted this garlic out in October, so it normally has sprouted up before the deep winter comes. And yeah, obviously it was a lot colder, so that may have affected it. However, I'm pretty sure hardneck garlic is generally the varieties which are hardier towards the cold as well. So, but anyway, it's still a good harvest of garlic. It will give us more than enough garlic for what we need, and hopefully enough to expand our crop again for next year, because we are hoping to start selling garlic at some point soon. One thing I am learning though, the more years I've been gardening, is not to take it personally when a crop doesn't do so well, because there are just so many variabilities each year. And now I do notice that one year if something doesn't do so well, always something else would do better that perhaps didn't do as well the year before. So it's just constantly changing. But the other thing I did as a bit of a trial, here I've got this little patch of French garlic, hardneck garlic, still to harvest. And this is the same variety, but I planted these cloves a lot later on. They got planted, I think, at the beginning of April, but I'll have to check back in an old vlog where I put it into, and I'll put the date on screen. I know it was a little bit later than what is recommended as the latest date to plant garlic, but I had some that was sprouting inside, and I thought, well, I may as well just pop it in the ground and see how it goes. So I'm going to have a look at this now and see how that comes out. So it definitely doesn't have as much rust on it, but the necks are noticeably smaller, so I am expecting it to be quite little. Yeah, pretty small. So not even sure if those cloves have divided, but this will be beautiful to use as wet garlic, so fresh just as it is now, chopped up and just thrown into dishes. That will be absolutely beautiful. So I will still look forward to it and make use of it. Let's just try another one here. Yeah, so really small, but yeah, perfect. I just chop it up almost like you would a spring onion. I have to say though, this has got to be the best garlic harvesting tool ever. So I'm literally just exposing a little bit of the bulb and then cutting round the roots where it's nicely dipped in the middle as well. You can go around really easily, so less soil disturbance, and I'm still leaving most of the roots in the ground, which is good for the soil, and it will also save me a bit of a job root pruning in a minute when I tidy up the garlic. So yeah, so thank you, Dan, for my birthday present. Really useful. Okay, so the last thing to get out of this bed here is this row of, I think it should have been 10 elephant garlic, which I planted 10 of my biggest bulbs over here, biggest cloves, sorry, over here, just to separate them from the main elephant garlic bed over there as like a kind of backup in case anything happened in that bed. just so I still had my seed garlic. So yeah, let's have a look and see how these have come out. Now this one looks like an absolute whopper here, so oh my gosh, oh wow, I think this is the biggest elephant garlic I have ever grown. Wow. That is massive. Absolutely massive. Wow. And these little bits dangling from it here, these are corms, I think they're called. And sometimes I just push these back into the ground, and then a few years later there'll be like elephant garlic popping up, and I think, how did that get there? And then I remember that I just pushed some corms in. They don't have like 100% strike rate with them because they take, I think it's another 2 years till they start forming up. But wow, yeah, might be worth saving from this big one if they've got any of the same genetics. Oh my gosh, I think we're going to have to weigh that and measure it and stuff. Right, let's see. I don't think any of the others look as big, but let's have a look. And I'll just finish getting the rest of these out of here now, and then hopefully in the next couple of days I'm going to rake off the wood chip from this bed and replenish it with an inch or so of fresh compost, and then I'm going to re-sow this ASAP with carrots for the winter. And yeah, I need to get on that so I don't miss the last sowing dates for the carrots. So that's what's going to go in this bed. I figure with the roots of the garlic in the ground, it will probably be a benefit to the carrots. Okay, so that is all the French garlic tidied up. There is 99 bulbs there, and I'm going to bundle them up now into bunches of about 7 to 10, and then we'll hang them under cover for a couple of weeks where they can dry out before I plant them. And in the meantime, I need to get harvesting the rest of the elephant garlic as soon as possible, and then go through the same process with all of that. Okay, so here is this year's elephant garlic harvest, and there should be about 200 bulbs here. Overall, it's a really good harvest. There are some really nice sized bulbs and cloves and some really nice looking garlic. But I have noticed overall, most of the bulbs are a little bit smaller than I've had in other years. So same sort of theme as what I saw with the French garlic yesterday. And also, I would say about 2/3 of the harvest have got this thing happening with the necks where they're kind of not sealed up around the cloves properly. And I have seen this before. I've had this in other years, but not as high a percentage of the harvest overall. The other thing I've noticed for me, harvesting later, I don't think is a good idea. Normally when I harvest, all of my necks are still really nice and firm like this one. And I only have the occasional sort of wibbly wobbly neck on the weaker bulbs, normally when I've harvested one that's just stayed as a round. But this year, on a lot of the bulbs where this has happened as well, the necks have also gone really weak at this point, which is going to make drying the garlic, some of the garlic, a little bit more challenging, because I think as it dries, the weight of some of these bulbs will actually snap off, which will also mean I can't plait all of it. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to have to look into that and see what I can find out, because yeah, definitely more of that happening than I've had in any other years. So if anybody knows anything about that and why, please feel free to share it in the comments below. That would be awesome. And otherwise, maybe I'll talk about it again more, whatever I discover in future videos. But yeah, we're going to have plenty of garlic to see us through. I'm hoping to grow even more elephant garlic next year, so a lot of this will hopefully make it through for seed garlic. We've still got some of last year's elephant garlic that we're using, so it stores really well when it's dried properly. Absolutely love having a whole year's worth of garlic. It is such a satisfying crop. Right now I'm going to go back up to the main growing beds, and I'm going to sow some carrots and some beetroots. I'm not going to take the camera up though with me, because you might be able to tell it's really windy right now, and it is also trying to rain. So I'm going to see where I can get some seeds in the ground quickly first, and then if the rain comes in, I've got some jobs to do in the Polytunnel. Okay, so I've actually come straight up into the tunnel, because just as I was finishing filming that last bit, it started raining, which is really good, but means I can't sow my seeds right now. Typically, it's clearing already though, but I'm still going to get the jobs done that I need to do in here, which is side shooting all of this run of tomatoes, and then just checking over the cucumbers and all the other plants down this side, just yeah, giving everything a tidy up. And I have actually just spotted coming in here that I've got my first very nearly ripe tomato. Like, it literally needs one more day, so that is super exciting. I'm going to put the drip lines on in here now, so I've just got my little taps to turn so that I can be giving all of this a good water whilst I'm in here. And yeah, I'm going to crack on. Okay, so this tomato here definitely needs a good tidy up. It's got shoots coming out the bottom, and I'm just going to take some of those lower branches as well to keep good airflow around the base of the tomato. Wow, this one's got some massive side shoots. I think he must have got missed last time. Another one here. Okay, and then just keep giving that one a few little wraps around the string to Keep it nice and upright. So hopefully you can see here, you've got a leaf branch and then the main branch, and then in between is the side shoot, and they're the ones that you want to take out to keep your tomato growing nice and straight and strong. All of this is going to be going on the compost pile in a minute, so I'm just snipping up the hard stem of this leafing celery that I've just taken out, just snipping it up a bit smaller so that it breaks down quicker on the compost. So on this tomato here, you can see it's actually just kind of branched off into two heads, so it's harder to decide which one the side shoot is on there. Like this little baby one here, you've got leaf, main stem, so that's a side shoot that can come off. But yeah, with these two, I'm just going to have to make a decision, and I think because this one's got a nice flower branch on, I'll take that one off and make this the main leading stem to keep growing up. And I just uncovered, whilst pruning, our first ripe sun gold tomatoes. There's another one up there, and also another couple of the Cherokee tomatoes, which are very nearly ripe. So it is not going to be long until we are harvesting lots of beautiful tomatoes from in here, which is amazing. But yeah, I should know better than to prune tomatoes without gloves on, because now I really need to go and scrub my hands. But if you want a closer look at what we are growing in our polytunnels, then check out our previous video from our tour that we did on the 1st of July in both of our tunnels. So Dan is just harvesting our first lot of outdoor grown potatoes, and this is a second early, I think, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, second early, and these are Sapo Una?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have some more new potatoes tonight. We have finished all the ones that we harvested from our Polytunnel extra early potatoes. They were awesome, and one of the good things about growing potatoes for us is we can remember the planting and harvesting dates really easy by our birthdays, because we always plant out our potatoes just after Dan's birthday, and we usually start harvesting our early potatoes or second earlies just after my birthday. We've been loving harvesting the soft fruits from our food forest this week as well. And our autumn raspberries have given us a surprise early bumper crop, which we have been massively enjoying. As more of the gooseberries came ripe all at once, we had to be pretty quick with harvesting to beat the birds. Usually blackcurrants are one of our main crops from the food forest. However, this year we don't have as many as normal. And that is partly because I gave the bushes a really hard prune over winter because they had gotten a little bit crazy. But also our new resident squirrel seems to have taken a liking to the blackcurrants this year, and our 2 bushes closest to the fence have been stripped. So I'm trying to make sure that I pick at least a few fresh berries every day so that we get to enjoy this seasonal treat, super fresh from the bushes as well. So I'm going to sit here now in my favourite spot in the food forest and enjoy my beautiful fresh breakfast. And then after that I'm going to be going up to the elephant garlic bed, finish clearing that, and then I'm going to be sowing it with a cover crop of buckwheat because we've got a few months until that bed will be replanted, and we want to keep giving back to the soil, feeding that soil, replenishing, giving it everything we can so we can grow more beautiful fresh crops for next season. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what we're up to at Freedom Forest this week. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, it really helps us if you click that thumbs up button so that more lovely people get to see our videos. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and also leave us any comments or questions below. We will answer them as soon as we can, and we do really love reading the comments. Also, a massive extra thank you to our Patreons for supporting us in the way that you do. It really, really does help us. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you here again soon. Peace and plants.